Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. Longlegs has now got its first round of reviews released from everyone in the sort of trades and professional critic world over on Rotten Tomatoes, and I thought we would take a look a little bit more in depth at some of these reviews. This is a movie which I'm personally really looking forward to. And Nicolas Cage producing, starring in it. I can't wait. Apparently he went really method for this, which I know sounds a bit odd for Nicolas Cage, but yeah, apparently he went really method. There's even clips floating around, official release clips of the individual Maker Monroe, who's the star alongside Nicolas Cage. They apparently never met before this one scene where they come face to face. They didn't meet. She'd never seen what his character looked like, and they sort of strapped a heartbeat monitor to her and shouted action, and they filmed it, and it's an actual scene, and they first met in that actual scene, and her heartbeat skyrockets. Whether that's true or false, it doesn't matter. The marketing for this movie is exceptionally good. It's released by Neon. They're doing the distribution of this film. I cannot wait for it. So I thought we'd take a look, because this is sort of hype for me anyway, and maybe we can, both share in this hype. So we'll take a look. Hit subscribe if you're new here. Do turn those bell notifications on, but let's take a look. So Rotten Tomatoes has it at 90% with 70 reviews. These will be sort of dripping in. I just sort of refresh it now and see if there's any more. No, they'll sort of be dripping in during the day. A lot of them have just been released today, though. And that is because it is releasing tomorrow. Ordinarily, that would be a concern, right? A movie's sort of embargo on reviews being like an immediate day before. Normally that would be cause for concern. But in a film like this, where they've managed to hide everything, right? Everything's hidden. They've not shown Nicolas Cage remotely. We don't know anything about this film. It literally just says, in pursuit of a serial killer, an FBI agent uncovers a series of occult clues that she must solve to end his terrifying killing spree. That's it. We don't know if there's supernatural elements. We don't know if, he's a creature. We don't know anything about this film aside from what they've allowed us to know. So an embargo a day before release, that's fine. I genuinely think that. So, yeah. A dread-inducing and atmospheric serial killer horror. Osgood Perkins' Longlegs is an intense but hollow serial killer thriller destined to be remembered for its ultra-creative, colossally buzzy marketing campaign more than anything within the actual movie. That's kind of the first... that's a negative, but it's not actually a negative. Interesting. With Nicolas Cage as both its producer and the deeply unsettling serial killer of the title, Longlegs is a work of chilling brilliance that should electrify genre fans for years to come. I'd say it's mixed, but it's not, but it kind of is. So, Flickering Myth, that review's not a positive one, but that sounds like they don't like horror generally speaking, because if you're looking at everyone else that seems to like horror, I don't know. Anyway, we'll keep getting through this. It may be one of the best horror films I've seen in the past 10 years, and is one of the best movies this year, down to the framing, the blocking, the cinematography, the acting. Everything about this film will disturb you and taunt you in a very demented way. I want to be disturbed and tormented. Let's do it. As with his other films, Oz Perkins creates intriguing mysteries, only to give too much away at the end. No, I disagree. I'm so sick of mystery boxes. If they actually solve stuff at the end, that sounds great. Longlegs is no exception, though the character itself remains a bit of a question mark. That's fine. What's wrong with that? I don't know. I've not seen the film, but that sounds fine. Are you not sick of mystery boxes? I bloody well am. Longlegs has a Jones for head trauma, and it's not shy about giving you explicit views of it. The gorehound in me was satisfied. But now I long for a good bloodless comedy to review. Brutal. What's clear is that as a stylist, Perkins is at the top of his game. Maybe even the top of anyone's game. As a storyteller, he's either a bold innovator or just slapping dream logic onto old-fashioned pulp. Huh. Here's a proper negative one. Guardian, though. Guardians. Guardian. They're shit. This isn't Perkins' first shot, but it's his biggest swing and ultimately his clumsiest miss. A grab bag of ideas and tricks that can't be coerced into anything resembling a whole. What a shame. You applaud the sheer hubris of it. Hannibal Lecter he is not, but in Cage's hands, Longlegs is undeniably a hoot. This is an actor, always worth the price of admission. That almost sounds negative, but clearly not. Both good and bad news. Longlegs is not going to transcend your nightmares, infest your soul, or cast a plague over your household, but this is an imaginatively conceived, impressively scaled, and surprisingly funny ride. Funny? What? I don't want a funny ride. Ultimately, Longlegs is the good kind of bad film. While it doesn't stick the landing, it's a film I would openly recommend to other people for the sake of the discourse it can generate. This is not a movie that I ever would willingly go to a movie theatre to watch again, which to me is quite telling. I don't ever really go back to the movie theatre to watch films, though. I only ever watch them once. Longlegs' originality and boldness feels refreshing in an age of horror franchises, spin-offs and sequels. This is schlocky strangeness that throws back to the video nasties of the 70s with a grungy makeover that imbues the film with melancholy. Longlegs' appearance may be startling, but the character as a swaying force of nature sticks to your mind. You know what? It does honestly sound like the people that enjoy horror have enjoyed this film. That's what I'm getting when I'm reading these reviews. So that's positive to me. Maybe I'm coping, I don't know. The type of blood-soaked nightmare is designed to push the viewer to their absolute limits, but Perkins never allows his latest film to devolve into senseless overkill. This sounds great. Backed by an unforgettable performance by Nicolas Cage, Longlegs stands to be the killer breakout film of the summer. Horror movies need not have wholly logical explanations, but Longlegs hurtles past compelling murkiness and lands in the realm of dull nonsense. From the first seconds to the last, Longlegs will have you squirming, a triumph of tension and tone and pure nightmare fuel. Establishes a strong enough sense of mood and atmosphere to absorb a DEFCON 2 level Nicolas Cage performance. It's one thing to present a killer crazed by satanic occultism, but when there is no backstory to explain his bizarrely specific modus operandi, it is difficult to fully embrace Perkins' vision no matter how effective his craft. I disagree with that, to be fair. Just because you don't always have to have everything explained. Although, yeah, I don't know. That seemingly contradicts the previous one, where they said they explained too much. Anyway, Chilling Concoction, featuring a remarkable transformation of Nicolas Cage and a reminder of Micah Monroe's star quality. Submit to its demonic darkness for a singular sensory cinematic horror experience. Longlegs will leave you breathless, nerve-wracking, unhinged, truly visceral, and wholly original. Oz Perkins' film will linger in your mind long after it's over. The horror mystery film Longlegs sometimes drags with slow pacing and repetitive scenarios, but the movie has a mostly gripping build-up that leads to a knockout ending. Nicolas Cage gives one of the creepiest and weirdest performances of his career. Again, it does seem like those people that like horror seem to like this. You know, literally just looking at this, doesn't it? As a procedural, Longlegs doesn't always stand up, but it's the little things that make it a great horror film. The mood is powerful, while jump scares may be cliche today. When you see it done with flair and timing, you realise what a skill it is. Yeah, that's true. Hardcore obsessives of the horror genre might gorge their hearts out on this, but for the fair weather fan, the search for genuine scares continues. What? That doesn't make sense. I wish I was watching the campier psychodrama Cage believed he was making, rather than the brooding, straight-faced mystery that never once tries to meet him at his level. Huh. I'm still very excited for this. Yeah. Nah, I still think this is positive. I'm reading some of this and I'm like, yeah, I'm not getting a... There's no trend running through there. The only trend it seems to be is that if you like horror, you'll really like this by the sounds of it. And I'll be watching it tomorrow and I'll give you my review. But there you go. What do you guys think? Let me know down below. If you're new here, do hit subscribe. Turn those bell notifications on. And please do help the channel out. Keep the lights on by subscribing to my Patreon. The link is down below. Cheers, guys. Take care. Bye-bye now.